Silver Dave here. I want to talk to you about gold pumping. Are we in a gold and silver bubble? And did you know Costco is going to sell gold and silver? Hello friends of the channel. This is Silver Dave. And what I have here is pretty much my monthly pickup. Around 20 ounces of silver and then some gold, fractional gold. Why buy this? Low premiums and it's relatively close to spot. Now, I want to talk to you about something that has been on my mind. And since I started making YouTube videos, I've also started watching more YouTube videos on gold and silver. I started this channel because a friend was like, well, you invest in a lot of physical assets and different asset classes, and you know how to save money, and you've been making money, so why not make a few videos to help educate people? I was like, okay, I'll think about it. So then a few months went by, and I was like, okay, let's get this started. So I started making videos. And then I started noticing something on my feeds, is that once I started getting into making gold and silver videos, I started getting a lot more suggestions of gold and silver videos in my YouTube suggestions. And one thing I noticed in my YouTube suggestions, and I always say this at the end of my videos, is I don't want this to be about this channel to be a gold pumping or silver pumping channel. I'm not going to tell you how much gold will go up or silver will go up. I'll tell you that historically silver and gold have stuck along with inflation and were good assets to protect you against inflation. And we are in a possible inflation scenario with the Federal Reserve. I think recently I read in the news that they pumped over $9 trillion into the economy since March. I made a video about, I think a few days ago, where my numbers were showing me that they pumped only 3 trillion, but actually it's 9 trillion, so that's a lot more money. We are in a possible inflation scenario, and gold and silver has historically been a hedge against inflation. But what you see now on a lot of YouTube channels is people are telling you that gold is going to go to $20,000 an ounce and silver is going to hit like triple digits. I don't know if you remember this, but something similar happened in 2018. And it wasn't with gold and silver. It was pretty much the same message, that because of government debt and all the debt we're living in, that none of the economy is real, stocks are fake, you should buy this asset class and it will go to the moon. And that asset class went to the moon, it hit $20,000, and then it came crashing down like no tomorrow. And if you remember what that was, kudos to you. And if you don't, I'll tell you, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin went to $20,000, right? Now it's, I think last time I checked, it was $2,000, $3,000. So yeah, if you bought it at the height of Bitcoin, you were, yeah, forget about it. You lost everything. And I don't know if you remember this other cryptocurrency in 2018. People tend to forget things, but this cryptocurrency was called Bitconnect. What was Bitconnect? It was a scam. But essentially they were issuing tokens to people, and that is what Bitcoin is. It is a token. It is also a public ledger. It's a lot of technologies, but essentially what you are getting in your wallet is a token. Bitconnect was not really cryptocurrency, but they were giving you tokens, and they made it look like cryptocurrency. It was a scam. It was a Ponzi scheme, and a lot of people lost money with Bitconnect. You can look up Bitconnect. You can look up what people were saying with Bitconnect and what people were saying with other cryptocurrencies. What they were saying with Bitcoin, what they were saying with Ether, what they were saying with Litecoin. All of these currencies have crashed. We are nowhere near where these currencies were before. And pretty much I don't see in the near future any cryptocurrency reaching that that Bitcoin $20,000 range in 2018. Why do I think it's relevant to gold and silver? Well, if you look at gold and silver now, there are a lot of YouTube channels that are telling you buy a ton of gold, buy a ton of silver. Silver is going to go to the moon. Silver is the next asset that's going to jump. Gold is going to go to 20,000. Silver is going to go to like, I don't know, 400, 500. It's going to go to $40 at the end of the year. It's going to hit $50 by the end of 2021 or $100. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Maybe it might happen. Maybe it won't happen. You need to realize that it can go to $40 or it can go to $10, right? Don't put your life savings all into this. You're like, yeah, but you bought 20 ounces. I'll tell you what, 20 ounces of this at $25 a piece. This is $250. This is about $28. $280. That's $500. $800. What is $800 for me? Well, $800 for me personally is less than 1% of my total annual income. Less than 1% of my annual income. That is what I am putting into silver. Now you have to imagine, I have a very well-paying job, and this is just insurance policy. How I advise people to buy is very simple. Don't put more than you can afford to lose into any single asset class. And don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Always be cash flow positive. What does it mean to be cash flow positive? It means that at any point, you should not need to take and liquidate your positions in order to pay your essential bills, such as your rent, food, car lease. If you don't have a car, you take public transport, your tickets, your health insurances or health bills. Make sure those things are paid first. Then you have spare cash. Out of that, you can choose to do things with it. What I choose to do with my spare cash is I buy things. I buy things like this. This makes me happy. Buying precious metals, putting into investments, it makes me happy. It's what I do for fun. I'm not using this as a way to earn a living. And I think if you take this more as sort of out of your fund budget and you use it as a way to preserve the purchasing power of your fund budget for a future, and maybe for in 30 years for your retirement to have a bit of extra cash, it's very healthy. If you run a business buying and selling silver and flipping silver, it's a very different model. It means that you're holding silver for a very short term and then you're liquidating it very fast. That is a very different model. I'm not addressing the professional flippers. I'm addressing the average person who thinks that I need to stack a bit of silver. How much should I stack? Well, the way you do it is, first of all, get all your essential expenses done. Put aside a certain amount. And then with whatever is left over, I would say take 1/3 of that and put it into precious metals. And this is sort of your insurance policy. It will come around to be around 5 to 6% of your annual income would be in this. And if you can, I think most people can live with 5% less annual income. There are people who cannot. I'm not saying everybody can. I'm saying a lot of people can live with less than 5% annual income. What does it mean 5% annual income? Well, the typical example is a lot of people say, oh, if you don't drink Starbucks every single day, you would save around, Starbucks is what? It's around $5 for a Frappuccino or $6. Around where I live, it's $8. So if you drink Frappuccino every single day, 8 times 365, just one Frappuccino, that would be, let me think. Oh God, how much my math? 10 would be 3. So you're looking a lot close to like $3,000. So yeah, I mean, I definitely stopped drinking Frappuccinos, and that's what's going into here. But I can afford to drink Frappuccinos every single day. I can afford to drink 2 Frappuccinos every single day. I can afford to have all my meals at Starbucks every single day. But I don't. And I choose to do this, and I choose to buy other assets. I choose to invest. I choose to optimize my taxes through my investments. But that is a personal choice, and I have the ability to do that. What I am saying is you need to take a hard look at your finances and then don't overstretch yourself into buying silver and gold. Let's say you make $3,000 a month, right? You have to pay your taxes, you have to pay housing, you have to pay your food bills, you have to pay health insurance. I've lived on $3,000 a month when I started working. I think I had about $600 left for leisure after all expenses paid, all food, clothes, everything. Of course, I was budget shopping. I was using some coupons occasionally here and there. With $500, I wasn't so stretched. I still could travel a little bit. I couldn't take luxury vacations, but I could go and stay at hostels. After a few months, I could save up $2,000, $3,000. On 500 Swiss francs, I could still go and buy like this. I could still buy 10 ounces of silver and put it in the safe. I could buy maybe less. I could buy 5 ounces of silver, right? And every other month, I could buy 1 piece of gold. It's not so much, I wouldn't be stretching myself. Of course, if I was buying the same rate as I'm buying today, and I was buying, all of this plus more gold incoming, yeah, then I would be really stretching myself. And if something happened, like for example, I have an accident, I would need to liquidate, it would be kind of a bad scenario because I would take a haircut on all of my assets. And I won't necessarily be able to recover because if you have a health issue, maybe you won't be able to work afterwards. So what I'm saying is don't overstretch yourself. Be aware. Currently, because of the sort of economic situation, the health situation, there is a lot of fear and anxiety going on. And people are willing to take advantage of your fear and anxiety to make a profit. And the way they do it is they try to hype certain things as things they are not. Silver and gold are not 20x return investments. They don't produce anything in the world. These are assets that follow inflation. Essentially, what you're doing here is you're buying a physical asset that moves along with inflation. And it's not because it's generating any value. It's because, the world, the real currency we use is becoming less and less valuable. So actually for companies to go and buy silver to make like your iPhone or to make some electronics, it's more expensive for them because now everybody has more money and more loans. They can all bid on this stuff. It goes up in price. That's how inflation happens. If that happens, it's not because this is making value. It's just because the economy is going down the drain. And somehow you have some sort of alternative purchase power as your safety fund that you can use this to barter and trade. That's essentially what this is. This is not going to make you ultra rich. It's not going to make you the next Warren Buffett. What it does is it gives you peace of mind, but don't overstretch yourself. Don't try and buy into the hype. And I want to talk about Costco getting into it. I think Costco, I'll put the article up when I upload the video, but when Costco gets into this, it means that gold and silver is going mainstream. And going mainstream is a sign of a bubble. That's what I'm saying here. This, right now, the price of physical gold and silver is starting to give signs of a bubble. We can see it in the premiums, which have a high disparity from the spot price. These items, possibly because of the potential recession, are becoming hyped items and are going into a bubble. How do you buy in this situation? How do you keep stacking? My suggestion is take a hard look at items that have low premiums and try to go for them. This is why for me, since I live in Switzerland, the Swiss 20 Swiss franc for me is the best gold investment I can buy right now. It's low in weight. That means that it is, I think, 5.6 grams of gold. And for 1 ounce of this, it is $1,800, right? Roughly, when I convert it into ounces. So I'm not paying a huge premium over spot for it. And I'm paying a very small quantity per month. So I'm protected against any potential spikes. I can cost average out my spending on these items. I don't have to spend $2,000 a month to just get 1 ounce, or I have to pay a huge premium to get a tenth of an ounce. I can use my fractional gold as a hedge against a potential currency sort of like implosion, but at the same time not buy into the hype. That's how I'm treating my purchasing. I'm also buying silver, but silver I'm really trying to be careful to get the best prices possible. Either I'm buying these on sale, which these I got for $28, these I got for $25. So I bought them roughly at the same time. Spot of silver moves. I think if you're paying around $2 to $3 over spot for coins, it's okay. You're not too exposed. But if you're paying like over 25%, like Costco is selling their silver at 38% over spot, that's insane for me. That is completely insane for me. I know that banks where I live, they sell gold and silver. You can go buy bars. I checked what was the price of a gold bar today at a bank, and it is around $820 for 1 kilo. 1 kilo of silver, not gold. I checked also gold, but the one I remember was silver was 822 Swiss francs, and if you're buying the paper silver, it was 770 Swiss francs for 1 kilo. Yeah, so essentially it is slightly over spot for physical silver, but it is never 38% over spot. And coins, they might not be 10% over spot. Coins have extra mintage costs. Coins could be, I think, could be 20% over spot for excellent condition, uncirculated coins. And for circulated coins, they should at least be 10% over spot. If you're paying more, you're buying into a hype, and it means that potentially that hype can explode. I don't think that it will go like how Bitcoin go up to 20,000 and then suddenly drop all the way down to 2,000, 1,000, simply because you have people who are actually buying these, professional buyers who are using silver to manufacture goods. This is an industrial metal. They will not allow that. Hopefully they won't allow that to happen, and they'll try to secure and hedge against it. And then that will put downward pressure on the price of the metal and keep it within a realistic range that is affordable for everybody. I don't think they're trying to like cheat silver pricing and bring it down purposely. Well, they are trying to get the cheapest silver, so they can make your iPhone for less than, I mean, imagine this. If silver goes up to triple digits, how much would your telephone cost? How much would your computer cost? Everything is going to see like a 20, 30% increase simply because of the price of silver just increasing. That would be, you don't want to live in such a world. And if gold increases, the scenario for gold to increase to 20,000 is horrific. It means that fiat currency has imploded. It means that when you go to a supermarket, you're going to go with a wheelbarrow full of cash to buy your food. That is Zimbabwe. That's like Venezuelan level hyperinflation. It's not a nice place to live in. You know, typically what comes with such a scenario is that there is a shortage of goods in your stores, and you have to spend a lot of money. You have to spend a lot of effort to get paper currency, go in, trade it for goods. You're like, oh, but I have gold. You know what's going to happen when you pull out gold in such a scenario? Somebody will pull out a gun on you and rob you. That is a scenario of 20,000 gold. And honestly, that is not a good scenario. People who are promoting that, just stop. I mean, you're not doing anybody a service. You're not doing yourself a service, and you're not doing a service for people unless you explain the context of what besides the financial markets is going to be 20,000 gold. Anyways, yeah, that was Dave. Stack, don't overstack, don't become an addict. Work on stacking in a healthy, continuous, slow and steady wins the race, like I always say. Slow and steady will help keep you healthily stacking and not overstretch your finances. And yeah, and in these times, stay safe and stay in good health. And I thank you for watching, and I thank you for, if you want to talk, feel free to comment. And thanks to the people who have subscribed. I think I have 6 subscribers. It's so great to have people who actually watch my channel. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And peace out. Thank you very much.